Well, welcome everybody to the start of the Apex E-Series Showdown. I'm your host, Eddie Smith, and you're watching Rebel Racing Network, and man, am I ready to go. I can't tell you how pumped up I am. I'm packed full of caffeine. I am ready to roll. We've got a pretty good race tonight. Calling it the Apex Sim Racing Daytona 200. And here at Daytona, but where else would you start a season other than Daytona International Speedway? And man, it is going to be a pretty night tonight. You see the sun starting to go down over the top of the press box there, and we are under qualifying, just getting ready to wrap up. Going to get into warm up. Got about a 5-minute warm up before we get ready to go racing. But kind of want to give you an idea of what to expect this season. We're going to see a lot of really fun racing in the trucks, following the actual truck series schedule. And boy, is it going to be a blast tonight. So I'm really excited to be broadcasting race last season. And man, I tell you what, one of the best series to be a part of. The league runner, Aaron Adcock, man, one of the best, puts on the best show, and somehow gets all the best drivers. And these guys are a blast to race around, and I cannot wait to call the race tonight. Who knows, at Daytona you see a 2.5 mile racetrack. You all know Daytona. I don't have to spill anything out for you, but you know super speedway racing. So what we're talking about is drafting. We're talking about 2-3 wide racing, and most likely a lot of spectacular wrecks are going to happen. We hope not. I mean, gosh. But you know what? We're sim racing. We're not real life racing. Nobody's going to get hurt. Maybe some hurt feelings. Maybe some clowns. You just never know who's going to pop out. But we're getting this race ready to go, 200 miles. And, man, I am getting amped up. Hope y'all are too. Got a lot of sponsors we want to talk about tonight. Of course, we'll talk about our main sponsor a lot, Apex Sim Racing. If you're into sim racing, if you're looking to get into sim racing, if you are interested in any kind of add-ons as far as button boxes, things to just enhance the experience, you know, reaching over and grabbing a keyboard, man, it's kind of lame, man. That's so 2021, man. We're in 2022, and you got to get you a button box. If you were sitting in a real car, you wouldn't have a keyboard that you're pressing. So head over to apexsimracing.com. Check out their stuff. We'll be talking about them all season long. But I tell you what, we've got one of the best on board. So check out their stuff. From what I hear, Jimmy over there is one of the best around. He is very active in taking care of what you buy from him. So definitely go out and check out apexsimracing.com. Give him a follow on Facebook and anywhere else that you see him. Somebody says, hey, I'm looking for some sim racing stuff. I'm thinking about getting me some button boxes, things like that. Man, you know where to send them. Send them over to Jimmy at Apex Sim Racing. Want to thank those guys just a ton. So, got about a few minutes left. Going to be about 2 minutes left, and it's just the calm before the storm. And see, the sun is starting to set, and we're going to have lights on before this race gets halfway for sure. We're going to be racing in the dark. Set the tires. You know, I don't know the sets of tires. I know guys are going to have to make a couple pit stops. So we'll be staying on top of that. We may pull somebody in here and ask them about it during the race if they're willing to share, and try to get some a little insight as we go through the race. As Daytona, they usually have a little bit less fuel than normal. I think Aaron always puts the servers up to 75% fuel, so they will have to make, pretty sure, 2 or 3 pit stops for fuel. Tires likely not to be an issue. You know, if you're going to come down, fill a full set of full tank of fuel, you'll go ahead and get four tires just because. But they really don't wear that much. Even at Daytona, this surface has been repaved in the last few years. And back on the old surface, when it was real abrasive, you'd have to come down and get tires. Handling was so important, but ever since the repave, it's not that important. But fuel is going to mean a whole big deal. So you're going to see guys saving a little bit of fuel, trying to ride. You know, a lot of times these long races doesn't do any good to get up there and lead a bunch of laps and race it out. Sometimes you're going to see guys just kind of hanging back, running half throttle, letting the draft pull them around the track. and try to save as much fuel as possible. But everybody's personality is different. You got to have guys up there who are ready to go 3 wide from the drop of the green flag, and you're not going to be able to tell them no. And that's what the beauty of pack racing is in super speedways. You got all kinds of personalities, guys wanting to do different things. And we'll see when the race is over who is going to be the winner. So we'll kind of talk about that as the race goes on, and we'll show you a couple things that we got going on in the broadcast. Of course, you got the webcam screen here where we get to see what the drivers look like. Be careful, turn down the brightness on your screen. Make sure you got a screen protector on there. Some of these guys will put a hurting on that. But right there, you see Jonah Colbert getting ready. See, he's talking with his team, trying to strategize how you're going to do it. That's what I love about super speedway racing, especially on a league type environment. Is you got teams. We have teams of 5 in this series, and so these guys are going to strategize, figure out what lap are we going to pit on. How are we going to work together? We're going to work at the front. We're going to hang around at the back. Those are all important things. That's what Jonah Colbert. He is last season's champion. You see, he's ready to go. Got his season 2 championship shirt on. So he is champion of many leagues, but he is last season's champion. So he's going to see if he can get this thing rolling tonight and try to get this thing done. Well, it looks like we are ready to hit the grid. And boy, I tell you what, we got a lot of great sponsors to talk about tonight. And starting with the Kinder Farm and Ranch starting grid, of course, we'll hit the pole award right here. Chuck Peglegs, we bring up the grid and get these guys up here. Eric Burkhalter with Dirt Affliction takes the Chuck Pegleg pole award. So congratulations, first award winner of the night. Eric Burkhalter takes top spot. And as we get into the Kinder Farm and Ranch starting grid, Tony Edrington starting outside the front row from Wolf Racing. Well, it take me a little bit to get used to everybody's team names and stuff, but a couple new names, but we'll do the best we can. Chuck Pegleg Phelps almost took his own award, starting in 3rd. Starting 4th, Tracy Passon's come on. Starting 5th, Chris Bedwell. Last season, one of the last season's final 4. Extremely fast racer. Joseph Mahar. Starting 6th, Kyle Roberts. Starting 7th. Starting 8th, Matt Rogers. Starting 9th, Chris McLean. He was the season before last champion. Starting 10th, Alan Smith. Starting 11th, Aaron Adcock. Starting 12th, Anthony McPherson. Starting 13th, Jonah Colbert. Starting 14th, Garrett Kinder. Starting 15th, Charlie Elmore. Starting 16th, Ray Rogers. Starting 17th, Brandon Wallace. Starting 18th, Willie Evernham. Starting 19th, Chris Carroll. 20th, Christian Pittman. 21st, Alex Coffey. 22nd, Jason Raymond. Starting 23rd, Tanner Marr. Starting 24th, George Williams. Starting 25th, Mickey Isaac. Starting 26th, John Curtis. Starting 27th, Charles Stevens Jr. 28th, Josh Lokovitz. And starting 29th, Justin Miller. Well, that is your Kinder Farm and Ranch starting grid. And you see the guys already on the track getting ready to go green. And, man, we've got a big field tonight. 29 drivers gonna do 80 laps here at Daytona. Got somebody blinking out. I can't really tell who that is. Somebody down on the apron already. It's like Chris Bedwell blinking out pretty bad. So he looks like he's going to go down to the apron and try to get to the back. That way there's no issues caused. That's not a good thing to have happen here at the beginning is have that happen. So, well, all right. Well, let's get the engine sounds rolling. And, man, let's get ready to go green and get this season started. Going to be a lot of fun, y'all. Y'all strap in. Be active in chat. Tell me who you want to see, and we will let you know. Barney's got the green flag in hand. See the pace car do a weird maneuver off of the track down on the pit road, and we are going to get green. Eric Burkhalter leading us down, and we are green here in the Apex Sim Racing Daytona 200. Let's go. Pretty good start here, and you'll see at the top, if you're new, we've got the listing up at the top to let you know, the ticker going across the screen, let you know who is where, and so keep an eye on that. Let's see where your favorite driver is. We call the action. So far, Eric Burkhalter able to take the early lead as Tony Edrington on the outside, going to try to make that outside line work. Chuck Pegleg tucked in behind Eric Burkhalter there in that 75 machine as they complete this first lap, come off of turn 4. Everything is good. We made it one lap. Hey, that's a beautiful thing. Joseph Mahar already pushing on the back bumper of that 77 machine of Tony Edrington and trying to make that top line work. The beautiful thing about the trucks here in this particular setup, the drafting pack of the trucks is just really get the huge run, push, really lean on the bumper completely square, push down the straightaway. You can push in the turns, but I think we'll see tonight that'll be where a lot of your wrecks will happen as guys try to push in the middle of the corner. One side or the other, get on that right rear. See guys moving around, so you gotta be careful. You don't want to push. Say that. So far so good. Tony Edrington leading that first lap, 77 out front. Now, normally what folks do, if they're not working with teammates, is they'll run that and get out front. You kind of drop down to one that bottom lane, try to make that top spot. But it depends on if you got teammates. 77, 46, Tony and Joseph, they work together. Tony may stay up there and stay with Joseph. That's what it looks like what he's doing. And just bring his teammate along and kind of see as we kind of stretch it out a little bit. You see there's a lot of guys back here in the back really focused on just staying out of trouble. Probably drop it back a little bit to stay out of any issues that might come along. I'll turn it down a little bit. Make that happen. We're going to go up front, watch the action as they are 2x2. Top of the box. Turn that down just a little bit more, that way y'all can hear me. Those trucks are just loud. Loud and throaty, the throat mobiles right there. Chuck Pegleg in that 75 machine, U.S. Marine Corps. Man, what a great guy. He will actually, let's go ahead and bring up the webcam screen and let's highlight Mr. Chuck as you see him holding on to that bottom. And you'll see Tony Edrington goes down to the bottom right as I said something about him. And he goes down, but you see Chuck Pegleg Phelps there trying to work that bottom, stay on the bumper of that Ford machine, keep that line moving. Now he is third in line, but he has been able, over in the original Rebels League, which is sort of a sister league here at Apex, he has really shown himself to be a super speedway master, winning like the last 2 out of 4, 2 out of 3 super speedway races that's happened over there. So watch out for that 75 machine as we see Joseph Mahar and Matt Rogers get down in front of Tony there. So you see that top line trying to situate themselves to the front of the field and kind of leaving Anthony McPherson out there by himself. Got a little Ray Rogers there in that 51 machine, second car on the top row, right behind him, trying to make that top line work. That top line is missing numbers, that's for sure. So far, so good. Lap 6 of 80 here in the Apex E-Series Showdown. And that top line's starting to pick up a little steam there. We've got some really heavy hitters in that top line. As you see Anthony McPherson leading that charge. You've got Ray Rogers, Willie Everingham. You got Jonah Colbert, Garrett Kinder, 79 of Josh Lokovitz. Those are some really good super speedway racers. So they're jumping up into the top line, getting ready to get a little feisty up here. But you do get a point for leading the laps and getting out front. Not the worst thing in the world if you can do it safely. So Willie Abraham kind of jumping up out of the groove there. Ooh, see, Little bump there may have gotten Joseph a little bit out of shape from the 96 of Matt Rogers. But they are able to keep it together. So about 32 laps on fuel. So you're going to see them have to pit twice at least. We do a little block. Got some spammers in chat trying to take care of that. But Joseph Mahar leading the way right now. So a couple pit stops for sure. Maybe more depending on how many cautions we have. We've got some fans in chat. We got somebody saying, let's go Raymond. We'll actually check in on Jason Raymond. He helped call the race with Five Kings last season and has jumped in the driver's seat. Just could not stay away, itching to get up there on the track. And you see him there in that 44 machine. We'll try to get a little bit closer as hey, that's a little bit too close. But it looks like those guys hanging around in the back just letting the race kind of come to them. Let them kind of dictate how much they race, and you'll see him in the back. We've got Go C&C Esports Coffee and Curtis. Check in on John Curtis. Back in. Let's try that camera one more time, as we don't want to cause any issues, but it's just not a very good camera. So but there he is back in the 117 car, and then Alex Coffey right in front of him, right in front of Christian Pittman. We go back up front. And Joseph Mahar still leading the way. Anthony McPherson got a little bit of help there, starting to inch his way back up towards the front. Willie Abraham kind of peeking his nose out there. So far, so good. Everybody seems to be minding their manners, but you know those manners start to go away as the laps start to count down. You can kind of take it easy, but you know what? If you're sitting back here in the back, if you're Tanner Marr, Justin Raymond, you're sitting here back in the back. It's easy to do it on lap 10, but man, once those laps start to click away, you get into lap 50, lap 60. Couple pit stops, it's go time then. You got to start positioning yourself about 20 laps to go. If you don't, if you're not headed towards the front, you just go run out of time. It is like a surgical knife to get up through these fields sometimes. At Daytona, Talladega, you can kind of go 3 wide, but at Daytona, man, it's really tight to try to go 3 wide. And a lot of times, the hole will kind of close up. So something to be thinking about. Somebody said Rubber Media up front. That's right. They able to get up on that top side, get the lead, and have been able to control this race so far. Anthony McPherson just not able to do anything with that top line just now. It just seems like the top line not as organized as the bottom has been. But I tell you what, I'm impressed with Matt Rogers and how he's been pushing on that back bumper of Joseph to make sure that they keep that lead. 51's been doing a good job of keeping Anthony up in the front. But like I said, just not a whole lot of pushing. Guys, you see those gaps that you see between the 91 and the 79. Guys just not willing to be that aggressive just yet. So just not a whole lot of aggressive pushing, which you need to do on the top side, which is fine. You know, they're more than happy to just kind of chill. But just keep watching those gaps as the race goes on and on. It gets tighter and tighter, and guys start to be a little bit more aggressive. You see the sun going down, getting ready to get the lights on, and this race will be picking up. Somebody blinking out. Looks like Josh Lokovitz blinking out. Let's go look at the webcam screen and see if he's blinking out on his webcam. It's just in the race. Look at that concentration as he is running that top side, just taking it easy. In these races, it looks like it's so easy, but man, there's just so much concentration that goes on. You can kind of take it easy, but you got to account for everything. The lines, you push up, and drop back. There's momentum where somebody pushes out ahead of you, and then the line comes back and kind of checks the whole lineup. You have to constantly be paying attention, and a lot of, you see Anthony McPherson goes up there and takes the lead from the top side, so the top line, getting a good push here. But man, it just takes, you see the little movements that he's making. That makes it so much more difficult than if you're at a track and you're turning the wheel a lot. He's making fine, really, really small adjustments in the turns to keep that car in line. You know, if you get to somebody's bumper, the last thing you want to do is be moving the wheel so much that you catch their right rear quarter or left rear quarter and send them spinning around. So really, really fine movements. A lot of just gripping, white knuckling those wheels. Keep these things in line. It's so important that everybody does that to get the lines of speed they need to be competitive. You can definitely see he's got it going on right now. Well, I'll tell you what, let's do a little bit of Crank It Up. I know Kevin said he couldn't hear me talk. This time I'm going to shut up for a lap or two. We're going to do a little bit of what they call Crank It Up. Looks like Anthony McPherson maybe got rooted up out of that bottom line, up to the top line, maybe a teammate or something. But Joseph Mahar back out front, leading the way on that inside line. See the track changing a little bit. The lights are not on. There they are. You see the lights on. as the cars drive by. The sun's going to go down. It's going to get dark. This track's going to cool off, and it's going to get a little bit faster. The speed's going to pick up just a tad bit. Check in on some drivers. Chris McLean in 5. You see just how big of a gap he's got between him and Garrett Kinder, and also behind him and Kyle Roberts at 13 and 35. Just a big gap there between those drivers. You know, like I said, everybody's strategy is a little bit different. You know, some folks like to kind of hang back, and even if you hang back, you can get caught up in things. But everybody's got their own way of dealing with it. Joseph Mahar doing a very popular thing, try to get out front, control the race. There's no safer place than being up front. And even if you're back here hanging out, you know, the track can get blocked pretty quick, and it could end up hurting you. And at the end of the day, if everything works out perfectly like it should, you got to make your way through the field and keep repeating that. And it's so important to time all this stuff right. But right now, everything kind of taking it easy. Guys are really getting ready to start thinking about pit stops. About 30 to 32 laps is what they could do on fuel, so guys have been saving. Right now, you're going to see guys, you know, you can hear their discords in their team chats. They're talking about, man, who am I going? When we going to pit? Who's going to go where? What lap? Trying to get to. If you got teammates, 4 or 5 of you, you're trying to find out where everybody is, get linked up, get connected, and get ready to head down pit road. It is extremely difficult. It's hard enough to go from 180 miles an hour down to 55. That's the speed limit. Coming off the corner when you're in a big pack like this. So you really have to plan it out. Then you add 4 or 5 cars that you can go pit with. And, man, that really makes it a lot more difficult to do. So it's a dang science, pretty much. It's like you're trying to figure out, all right, I'm going to go down. I'm going to get on the brakes here. I'm going to go to the left. You go to the right. That way we don't run into each other. And the idea is you get down into pit road and come out together. That way you come out as a group. That way you keep a draft and don't lose the draft. You definitely don't want to end up missing your party and being all by yourself. So, well, Kevin, I tell you what. I tell you where is safe space. That's right up here in the booth, and you in chat. So, oh no, and we got 2 cars get together, and the first wreck as Anthony McPherson goes 3 wide, and man, already the first wreck. Eric Burkhalter involved. A couple drivers going to be involved in that wreck. As there it went. Didn't take long as Anthony McPherson goes around. Let's go and check out the Burkhalter Recycling Wreckage Rewind. Try to see what happened to him. As we were kind of watching it, but let's go back and see it from the replay. See the 51. Oh, he gets in the wall a little bit, so the 51 goes down to the inside, and it looks like McPherson thought he was going to get clear there on the bottom and just didn't, and my goodness, just takes a horrible – let's go back and watch that in slow motion as, yeah, just thought maybe he was clear here. You'll see as we slow it down, thought he was clear. Willie Everingham was like, I was going to take that spot too. And comes down, collects the 4. Eric Burkhalter with nowhere to go, just kind of a byproduct. And then we're going to go on board, I think, if I can find the camera, as McPherson takes a wild ride. Thank goodness we're on a computer. My goodness, oh, I'm going to get sick. It is a definite motion sickness warning. And you see Eric Burkhalter going around. And a couple drivers involved with that. It looks like Alan Smith got a piece of it. Go back and see what he saw. But, yeah, already big wreck. Not huge. Just a few drivers involved, but definitely not what you want to see as we were getting ready to get green flag pit stops. Well, all right. Well, we should see everybody come down pit road. It's going to make things a little bit interesting. It's a little bit short of the pit window, but we'll see guys come down. Probably take fuel only. as Joseph Mahar leads everybody down pit road. As you see, we are wide open. Everybody going to come down, get fuel at least. Some guys will elect to take tires. You'll see the way you'll know is you'll see the right side and the left sides kind of pick up. You see a couple drivers doing that. I think most guys will take a few sets of tires. Might as well take them. It's going to take you a while to fill up with fuel. Oh, Mickey Isaac going around there in the back. Spins out on pit road. See Anthony McPherson sitting on pit road. Had to take a tow. Usually when the engines blow, you're not able to drive it back to pit road. They do have a fast repair, which means if you're not familiar with iRacing, they get a free pass. You go over there, you wreck your car, you run into the wall, mess up suspension. In real life, you're done. You take it to the garage, or you try to limp around for the rest of the race. But in iRacing, you know what? We do this for fun. We show up for some good racing to have a blast. And, knowing that wrecks are going to happen, we are amateurs, we're not professionals. So a fast repair, you go down to pit road, you pull into your stall. iRacing gives you a brand new truck, just like the day that it was born. And you get to go back out there and try again. So if you do get in a wreck, you do have that in your pocket. And I think the thing about it is you don't want to use it early. You definitely don't want to be using it on lap 24, 25 of 80. You want to have it there at the end. It's like having an extra set of tires. Not really the tire part, but just it's another thing you can use, something you want to save. You don't want to just use it randomly. You get some real bad suspension damage, a little bit of engine damage, truck down on power. That's when you want to use it. So you want to be using it later than early. But a couple of those drivers, Eric Burkhalter, those guys will get those fast repairs and get back on the track. Unfortunately, they're going to be probably a lap down or two as they both had to tow. We'll keep tabs on that, see if they're able to get back on the lead lap at some point. We'll see how many laps down they actually are as timing and scoring gets all put back together. Burkhalter is 2 laps down. McPherson is at least 2 laps down. So they're going to need a couple cautions to get back into this thing. But it's definitely possible. You see, only lap 25, we got our first caution. First caution of the season. And I blame Ratchet Miller. I hadn't seen Ratchet Miller. Ratchet really hadn't talked, as far as I can tell, in the chat much. Just a little bit, and then he said something, and then the cautions came out. So if you're ever looking for somebody to blame for the caution, it's gonna be Ratchet Miller in chat. He is somehow it comes in with him. Well, all right, getting ready to go back green. Joseph Mahar takes the outside with his teammate, and they go green. Joseph gets a good little jump there. The 51, is he going to stay on the bottom or go to the top? Matt Rogers goes down to the bottom, and Joseph Mahar takes back the top spot with a great restart. Definitely guys working together. That's what you love to see. It's always amazing to watch, just like any kind of team sport. Super Speedway racing just brings out the team in the team sport, as you get to see guys really work together. And, after that wreck, I wonder if we'll see guys kind of taking it easy. Starting to feel like guys were already taking it a little bit easy already, but I think we'll see guys really sort of single file. I can't really tell what number that is. I'm still getting used to everybody's number. It's like Chris Carroll on the outside trying to make that line work, that white truck on the top, but no help as everybody is down on the bottom. Got a group of 4 up there that'll come help. And looks like Aaron Adcock. Oh, excuse me. Josh Lokovitz. Jump up there and grab hold of that top line. know, Daytona, Talladega, the great equalizer. Everybody has a chance to win tonight. Even the guys that are a couple laps down, so you can't give up. You got to keep pushing. Man, Josh Lokovitz goes straight to the front with a heck of a push on the top side. That top line was moving. And, you know, I thought maybe everybody would calm down and chill out, but you got a little bit of man, you got a little bit of dirt affliction on that top line as Chris Carroll's leading a group of drivers that are, man, or something else. Chris McLean there in that 5. Got Tracy Passons in the 53. Kyle Roberts, who is a heck of a super speedway racer, with Garrett Kinder behind him. Last season's champion, Jonah Colbert, and Chuck Pegleg Phelps running that top line. Man, that is a stout line as you start to see that 97 truck going to take the lead here on this lap. Besides, you know what? That top line looking pretty good. I'm going to stay up here. See that 5 machine all over the back. You see him wiggling a little bit as you get to somebody's bumper. You're trying to stay on it. We talked about those little hand movements and stuff, and it can get a little wild as you're trying to stay locked to that bumper. If I'm Chris Carroll, I'm getting up on the chat going, hey, Chris McLean, give me a break, man. Really takes a lot of trust in drivers. You got to know who you're racing against. You know, if Chris McLean was pushing me, I feel pretty comfortable. Chris Carroll probably feels like he's in pretty good hands. You'll find some drivers that are great drivers that just don't match up with how you drive or how you do this, and y'all just can't lock bumpers. You try to, as you've got all this time, so freeway racing, you know, it's kind of a lot of just riding around. But as you're riding around, you're trying to find those guys who you can push and who is good at pushing. You try to find those guys and link up with them later in the race. Now we got a couple of awards to give out. We've already given out a Chuck Pegleg Pole Award. We've already given out well, that's the only award we've given out. We've got a couple. We've got the Hard Luck Award. We're calling it the Trigger Time Jammed Up Award. Trigger Time Indoor Shooting Range. We have the Hard Charger Award, Kyle Roberts Leather Wallet Hard Charger Award, and we have the Paint of the Night. So Paint of the Night's always a fun one because that's a little bit of that's all me. That's my decision. I can make the call, and me alone. So we'll be on lookout if you're in chat and you've got a suggestion. You know, maybe can lean me one way or the other. Say who your favorite paint scheme is. You see Josh Lokovitz fighting back there on the bottom side. Gets a good push from Joseph Mahar. But if you see a paint scheme you like, holler it out. Let me know. I want to know who y'all like. I'm sure the drivers have put a lot of time into these schemes. I'd love to see you let them know as well. Go check out guys that are running in the back here. Alan Smith, speaking of Trigger Time, looks like he has gotten his fast repaired. We saw him involved in that incident. Truck looks brand new with Eric Burkhalter. Those two teammates of Dirt Affliction ran with those guys last season. Man, that's a good group. Got Justin Miller right behind him. I'll try to get everybody's truck on the screen tonight as we got racing going on everywhere. But man, I really want to highlight everybody. Don't want anybody left out as we go on board with Charles Stevens. And I'm gonna tell you, you're gonna play to the judge. Charles Stevens is doing a great job. I sure do love that paint scheme. Junior Motorsports Dirty Mo scheme, orange, white. I love it. Love me some orange. That's a good looking scheme. I love it. Let's go on board with Mr. Charles Stevens and see what he's doing. See if he's listen to his throttles, inputs. And you can hear him just lifting, taking it easy. him lifting off the throttle. RPM's going a little bit down on the straightaway, using that draft to stay with the group, but save a little bit of fuel and stay out of trouble. You see everybody else in front of him kind of doing the same thing, but it is getting tight up here in the front. We need to get back to the action. We're going to miss something as, man, these guys are really battling up here. And give me a couple races with the names and the cars. You know, some people have some new paint schemes this season, and don't know everybody's. There's some new drivers to me, so it'll take me a little bit to get everybody's name and number and stuff, call it out. So you'll hear a little bit of delay as I try to call out who it is as I'm looking for their number. But as the weeks go on, we'll get better and better at knowing who's who. You'll hear me call the same names over and over again. No, I'm not being particular. I'm just calling out who I see, and it's not always perfect. But man, we'll make sure everybody gets a little bit of time on the screen. You see that big push there on the bottom that 79's getting from Joseph Mahar, man, just a huge push, and that's going to push him out to the front. And then you'll see that parachute come out, and he'll come right back as the 97 is getting a push from the 5. Nobody really willing to go 3 wide. It's a little bit too early for that. You just see the gaps that people have up front. You see these guys getting right on the bumper, but you won't see that as we go back a little bit. You see the gaps right here between the 96 and 77 and to the 99, and you see the gaps up at the top line. Because you can fit whole trucks in them. Is they're just taking it easy, making it to the end. And that's what you have to do here if you're going to make it and be here to be able to get a victory. You start pushing too early. The front 2 rows can do that. That's kind of the whole game as the race goes on, as the front 2 just kind of alternating back and forth. But outside of that, really no reason for the 53 or the 51 to push. You just kind of hang out, let the top 2 do what they need to do. You know, you do need to worry about overheating a little bit. You can't push for too long. These cars can handle water temps well over 270, 280 degrees. You see the 46 lot bumper. Doesn't look like they're touching, but in iRacing they are touching. As you see, they're both going forward at the same rate. But you got to be careful. You can't push for too long. You have to kind of let it breathe a little bit. That temp gets a little bit too high, it starts blinking. And in iRacing, I can tell you, if it ever blinks red, you better back off quickly, because it's just a roll the dice on whether or not your engine can make it any longer. So you don't want to push that. You want to save that engine, let the temp kind of cool off to about 240, 230, and that way you get down to the end of the race. If you want to blow it up across the start-finish line first, you can do that. You don't want to do it too early. Who is that running the number 1 and 21st? Well, hot dog, look at that. That is MF Racing Designs. That's Tanner Marr. That's a pretty good looking paint scheme, I have to admit. You see him in that Yoder, hanging back here in 20th. Anybody know what MF stands for? I don't know what that is. MF Racing Designs? I don't know. But I know, and I'll get the team stuff figured out, but I'm pretty sure him and Alex Coffey are going to be working together. Jason Raymond, who's up here in the 44 on that top line butt kicker car, or truck, and they'll end up together at some point. Right behind him is the 14 Christian Pittman. I believe they are all on the same team. So be looking to see those guys get hooked up. There's Chris Bedwell. We really haven't talked about him. He kind of blinked out, started up near the front, was having some internet issues and blinked out. But man, I tell you what, Chris Bedwell, really, really good all-around driver. Probably one of the most complete drivers in the series. You put him on a road course, man, he'll whip your butt. You put him on a super speedway, he can definitely get the job done. Mile and a half short tracks. You're going to see a lot of this 95 machine, as last season he was up front almost every week fighting for the points lead and made it to the Final Four. Came up just a little bit short, but it could have gone either way. But, yeah, you're going to be talking about him a lot. Kind of highlight some new folks to me, at least. Of course, Chris Carroll, who's leading this top little group here. Don't know too much about him. He's from Canada. I know that. But doing a great job up front. Let's see. Tony Ederson, which we've seen him at the front at the beginning of the race in that 77 Wolf Racing Chevrolet. Glad to have him. Christian Pittman, we just talked about him, but he's new to me. John Curtis is right behind him in that 117. Green machine. If you go to a short track, you might want to take that green off. I heard that's bad luck. But that's a good-looking truck. I like that. Don't love the 3 numbers, but outside of that, it's a fantastic-looking truck. So good job there by him. Alex Coffey, I do know him. He was racing some last season. George Williams, which I actually got. We'll show George Williams here on chat. Let's see if I can get this up. Doing a lot at once. Probably need to take a break, but there he is, George Williams, number 40, hanging out back in 27th. See, he's got a lot of space between him, all around him, man. He's got a wide arc. He's saying, stay out of my zone, stay away from me. He's watching for those wrecks. Got a little green screen. I guess I need to do a little bit of chroma key, put something behind him. As you can see, he's just hanging out, taking it easy. He was driving with one hand for a second there. Didn't even have 2 hands on the wheel, so George Williams, man, taking it easy. Check in on some more of our drivers who've got cameras. That way they put their camera out there. We might as well show them as we've got a little bit of time here. I don't want to miss anything, but keep it exciting for y'all. Here's Garrett Kinder running that top line in that 13 big Frig Ford F-150. Riding behind Kyle Roberts, Jonah Colbert right behind him. Those guys will definitely be working together. He don't look like he's. Is he having fun? I don't know. Can y'all tell? He looks focused, but he looks relaxed. You don't see a lot of nervousness on his face. He's just taking it easy. It's funny, as he got close to the 35, his mouth opened up just a little bit. So. Couple Oklahoma boys in the field. That guy's from all over, man. That's what I love about iRacing. The racing dudes all over the place, from all walks of life, all areas of the country. Who else we got in here we ain't talking about? Well, we'll go ahead and show our fearless leader, Aaron Adcock. Hanging out back here in that 17 machine, hanging out here in the back. Another one of these drivers who's trying to just avoid the mess, stay out of trouble. Started inside the top 10, but has dropped all the way back, obviously on purpose. Got to find somebody that looks a little bit nervous while they're racing. Somebody I won't be able to tell if they're nervous, unfortunately, because he's got something covering his face. Is old Charlie Elmore here. Is He's racing in VR. That's about the coolest thing. If you hadn't ever seen VR, it allows him to see all around him, gives him sort of a depth perception instead of having a flat screen. Most guys are going to run triples. Some guys will run single screen, triple screens will give you a little bit more FOV on the sides, see around you. And VR, man, that'll let you see everything. So you see he's got that VR headset on, and we won't see any wide eyes from him tonight. And then, of course, we can't show everybody's camera without showing Kyle Roberts running that top line. You see he's looking over at something. He ain't paying attention to the track. You see him bob and weave on that outside line. I don't know if he's listening to the broadcast, but he's over at texting and driving, one of the two. There's Kyle Roberts in that 35, big frig Ford F-150. I'm going to call him Ford Mustang at some point tonight. Pretty quiet right now. Like I said, we've got about 30 to 32 laps. They last pitted on lap 24, 25-ish, just depending on who pitted when. So you're going to see, let's see, about 30 laps from 25. It's going to be about 55. So we're actually getting a little bit close to when they're going to need to make a pit stop here. In the next 5 to 10 laps, we're going to see guys have to come down and get fuel. They're still going to have to make 2 stops, even if they pitted the last caution. Definitely, I don't believe had enough fuel. That top line gets a little bit out of shape. You see Kyle Roberts get a little bit loose. Very scary. You saw 31 back out of it immediately. But everybody minding their P's and Q's for now. Sun finally has gone down. Chris McLean going to take the lead, hold that bottom spot. Woo, look at the run that Tracy Passons and Chris Carroll got on the top side, as they almost able to get up there and clear the number 5 machine all by themselves, basically. And that's what I love about the trucks. Some of these other draft packages are pretty terrible, but trucks, you can really get somebody's back bumper pushed and get pretty nice runs in that draft. You're able to make some moves. You can, like I said, you can make the top line work there at the end if you get a guy that can, 2 or 3 drivers that can push. All right, Chad, I'm going to need some help, man. I have looked at a lot of drivers, a lot of paint schemes, and, man, there's a lot of good ones out there. I got to give this award out. They paid for me to give the award. Oh, Tracy Pass is going to push Chris Carroll out to the lead, and then says, Asa Lasagna, don't get any on you, and takes the top spot. Going to drop back to Chris McLean. Chris Carroll may have the last lap. The 31 gets to his back bumper, and Chris Carroll actually leads that lap, but Tracy Pass gets down to the bottom. You're going to see that Po Man starting to form up down the bottom. That was probably on purpose to get Tracy down to the bottom as they get ready to make these pit stops, like I said, in the next 5 to 10 laps. It looks like Jonah Colbert's got a little bit of damage here as he's pushing all over the back bumper of Chris Carroll. You'll see that, try to get up a little bit. See right there on the front of that 31 machine, a little caved in. I don't know if that's going to be a helpful hindrance or what, but looks like he has gotten into the back of somebody. we're getting strung out now. Let's go back here to the back. Got some guys, man, in danger of losing the draft. You got to be careful. That's one thing that I worry about whenever guys are like, let's go to the back and hang out. You know, if you're these guys, let's go on board with Charles Stevens one more time, and let's see what he sees. They're just hanging out. You see the pack up there, but as they start to break away a little bit, this is good enough they can stay with it, but one of those drivers checks up or something, and you lose the draft. You don't get it back. Once you lose it, you're in big trouble. So you don't want to be too far back. I get a little bit nervous because some guys, especially the ones that are driving back here, they like to be off the throttle. They see somebody get squirrely out front, man, they're off the throttle on the brake, and you have to be careful with that. As a couple times doing that, you'll see the gap up there, that red truck that's about 6 cars in front. If he checks up a little bit, this whole line checks up, they lose the draft, and it's over. You have to open for a caution at that point. You really have to get the guys to work together then to catch back up. So got to be careful of that. Don't want to let that happen, especially if we're running here back to back. The 13, Kevin Kinder says number 13 may have some rear end damage. You think that's where the 31 got his? Might have been when Kyle Roberts was texting and driving, and they had to check up a little bit. Side-by-side action, it hasn't stopped all night long, as guys are not willing to just drive around single file, want to get up here and mix it up, and man, they have put on a show. It's been a lot of fun watching who's able to get up here, take the lead on the bottom. Jonah Colbert giving a huge push there to Chris Carroll, but Chris McLean down on the bottom in that 5 truck also pushing Tracy Passon. So it is it's sort of a tug of war going on up here. And there we go. We got guys coming down pit road, a big group of cars as they all try to get woed up. And this is the thing you got to be careful with. You don't want to speed. Everybody looks like they were able to get down to speed, no issues. Oh, Josh Lokovitz slams on the brakes. And very, very close there, as everybody looks like they were able to make it with no issues. So we'll try to get a little better camera that's spread out. Everybody comes down pit road. This will be the money stop under green. It's important. Oh, you see Aaron Adcock have to back up a little bit. That's not what you want to do, as everybody coming down to fill that truck full of fuel. A couple cars going to sneak away. This is where you're going to see some separation, as this group's coming out together. But you'll see some guys get left behind as they're coming out of the pits. And so you have to get together. If you're in a second pack or something, you got to get nose to tail, not race each other. Don't get side by side. Don't be the guy that jumps out on the hot line by yourself and slow the whole group down. It is so important right here to get together, work together, even if it's somebody you don't like, somebody you might think's a clown. As we got the rest of the group coming down pit road now. Jonah Colbert gives up the lead. Alan Smith, Chris Carroll, Christian Pittman, Alex Coffey, Jason Raymond, Tanner Marr, and George Williams, John Curtis coming down pit road. And they are able to come out together. Looks like they're going to exit about the same time. Chris McLean, though, coming down the backstretch. Let's see where they come out. Oh, no, they're coming down the front stretch. Excuse me. So they will definitely get out in front of some of these guys. You see those gaps right there, those gaps between those 2 or 3 trucks. Those in the back are going to be in trouble. And you've got sort of a small breakaway up here. Chris McLean, about 4 or 5 drivers in that draft, and they'll try to pick up these guys coming out of pit road. If you're Jonah Colbert, you're trying to pedal it up and get out there and grab that draft, as you see just how much speed these other guys have gotten. And you see Joseph Mahar going up there, making it 2 wide, 3 wide, going to be in just a second. Got to be careful here, man. You definitely don't want to wreck. Not in an exchange like this. You want to hold on to that. A big winner in this little group here has been Chris Carroll, who was able to grab onto this pack pretty easy. Tail end of this pack, Jonah Colbert able to get tied. Oh my goodness, they go around. What in the world? Chris Carroll goes around. Joseph Mahar involved in that. What in the world happened? I'm trying to see where the contact happened. I don't have that, so we'll just go ahead and rewind it and see what happened here. As man, caution comes out and negates everything that guys have made up on those green flag stops. I'm not really sure what happened as we got the Wreckage Rewind. I'm not sure. Chris Carroll here in the 97 machine. Joseph Mahar on the outside, and yeah, I don't really know. Just kind of maybe didn't know he was out there, trying to avoid a little checkup here. You'll see that inside line. He was 3 wide. As we slow it down. Yeah, I'm not sure. I'm wondering if he didn't think, he got the spotter call for the 99 here that's coming through the middle, and he may just not have known he was 3 wide. So whenever Brandon Wallace pulls down in front of him, he probably thinks that he is clear. And that's the only explanation I can think of, because he just turns right into Joseph Mahar and takes him out. So bad deal there. That was wild. Well, this will give me some time to look through some paint schemes and see if I can find who is the paint of the night. Let's go ahead and give that out. 1-inch Designs paint of the night. Let's see if we can give that out. Who is that going to go to? There's just too many paint schemes. The good thing is I have to give this out every week. So most of these guys will be running these schemes more than once, so we'll be able to give it out a couple times. I tell you what, I just one that caught my eye a bunch that I think is really, really nice is going to go to John Curtis here. As you know what, we'll we'll use the quote-unquote drone cam to show it off a little bit. I don't know what it is about it, but man, it just hit just right. And so that's going to be your 1-inch Designs paint scheme of the night. Ooh, that is super weird looking. But John Curtis, man, congratulations. That is a good-looking scheme. I like it. I like the green, the way the green and the white works. Even the numbers, having 3 numbers is a tough deal, but he somehow pulls it off. That's a good-looking scheme. So congratulations to John on winning that award tonight. You know, the paint award is a weird one, because man, people take it seriously. When they don't win, they get all upset. They'll be in the chat going, "I can't believe that person won the paint award." So we got some guys in here that really care about their paint schemes and want to win. So don't tear me up too bad, guys. Well, talking about the race, one thing we don't have to worry about now is pit stops. We are go big or go home here, or go medium, sometimes stay out, either way, whatever you want to do. But 20 laps to go. We're going to have about 18, 17 laps to go when we go back green, and it is go time. All that we just didn't matter. If you've been hanging out in the back, now it's time to come to the front. Those green flag pit stops are going to shake up things quite a bit. If you had lost the draft, the pit stop didn't go well, you slid through your pit box for Aaron Adcock, you get a little bit of second chance here. And I'm going to tell you right now, if you thought you saw some good racing or some tight racing, it's going to ramp up big time here, as we only got 20 laps to go, and it is going to be a mess. 18, 17 laps to go at Daytona is still a long time. We're talking about 47, 48-second laps. That's still quite a bit of time. But once you start to see those numbers with the 1 in front of it, man, these guys are going to pick it up. right, about to kick the tires and light the fires is what I say. Oh, it looks like we've got another Ratchet Miller in chat. Kelly Coffee said we're not used to these green flag runs, and next thing you know, caution comes out. So Ratchet, I think you're safe, man. I don't know. I think somebody's going to take that voodoo doll away from you. But here we go, getting ready to go green, man. Who is going to win the first race of the season? That's a big deal. Chris McLean, Josh Lokovitz, Ray Rogers, Garrett Kendrick, Kyle Roberts, your top 5. But I can guarantee you it ain't going to stay like that all for the rest of the race as Chris McLean gets a good jump. Josh Lokovitz not quick to the punch there. 51 and the 5 get out a little bit, but they're quickly going to find a little parachute and they're going to drop back. Josh Lokovitz up on the top side, kind of by himself. He's going to have some help coming with Kyle Roberts and Jonah Colbert on that top side. It'll take a couple laps for everybody to get wound up, and you'll see that field kind of close up as the top side was pretty. Had some pretty big gaps there, but man, that's going to change up really, really quickly as we kind of scoot out a little bit and watch this as the 5 and the 51, Chris and Ray Rogers, kind of get out a little bit from the field, but that top side is going to get some momentum here, and you see Josh Lokovitz squeezing down. We haven't seen a whole lot of that. He's going to start to get down on the sides, especially in the corner. On the straightaway, the top line has a lot of speed, so you can kind of have a little bit of gap. As you go down the corner, you'll see him squeeze down, get a little bit of that side draft that gives you a little bit extra speed if you're on that top line. So not a whole lot of room, not a lot of room for mistakes. You got to be smart. You got to be got to be able to keep that wheel straight as we got 3 wide back here between Chuck Pegleg Phelps, Brandon Wallace, and whoever the 14 is. Sorry, Christian Pittman. But Chuck, not where he wants to be, trying to find himself a spot to get into the top side or the bottom. There's just nothing opening up. He's actually making up some ground there in the middle as guys are having to check up. He's got a little help there with the 7, and Jonah Colbert has to make he kind of surprised him, I'm sure, as Jonah jumps down into the middle lane. Oh, it's getting a little bit dicey as, the 7 pushes down onto Brandon Wallace. And I tell you what, it's going to oh, my goodness, I'm going to run out of breath here. And these guys are going to make me sweat just a little bit. See that top line just kind of hitting each other, man. It is ramping up quick. There's still 17 laps to go, guys. We got a long way to go. Chris McLean still holding that top spot, but, man, you can just see, man, I tell you what, talked about Chuck Pegleg Phelps in that 75 machine. He went through the middle and was able to make up quite a few spots. So Chuck showing that strength that I talked about, where he has become a heck of a super speedway racer. We'll see what old Chuck looks like. Look at that big old smile on his face, man. He can't help himself. He knows what he did was just amazing as he goes 3 wide and makes up a bunch of spots. He got a big old smile on his face, pushing that top line. Will get himself a win tonight. Hey, I tell you what, if there's anybody that knows how to get to the beach, it's that man right there. Oh, no, and he gets a hit from Jonah, and they touch, but oh, my goodness, they're able to hang on to it as they break up a little bit, but we stay green as looks like Jonah gets in the back bumper of Chuck, and Chuck goes down and tail slaps, and we stay green, and nope, 77 going to go around. They just can't help themselves. They get a little bit of sideways. We're able to save it, but caution does come out when the 77 goes around of Tony Edrington, excuse me. And we are back under caution. Let's go back and see what happened there. We'll back it up. Looks like we'll go back to that as we watching the Wreckage Rewind here, and we'll watch that where that little tail swipe happened. See exactly what happened to Chuck. It just gets a little bit of bump in that trial wheel. Just can't bump there. And, man, they were able to hang on to it. But for some reason, I don't know what happened to Tony back here. He was just kind of riding. Everything had settled for the most part. 7 gets into the wall right there. Oh, Matt Rogers comes down, gets a little bit nervous about the 7, and gets into him. And then it kind of snowballed from there. So sort of just a chain reaction after that initial hit from Jonah and Pegleg. So I guess I jinked Chuck because I was talking him up, and then that gummit, he gets almost gets turned. All right, we are not going to see anybody come down pit road. Chris McClain, Ray Rogers, Josh Okovitz, Garrett Kennard, Kyle Roberts, still your top 5. Laps are ticking down. Who is going to win first race of the season in the Apex E-Series, Apex Sim Racing Daytona 200? Kelly Coffee said, "I'm done in chat unless one of my boys wins." So she is doing the broadcaster curse, the caution curse, the voodoo doll, whatever you want to call it. And so she's going to step away. Hopefully we go green from now on. Let's see what this looks like as I bring up the webcam. Let's see how many people fit in there. There we go. Look at them. See a couple of them talking it up a little bit, doing a little bit of strategy, figuring out where they want to go. Everybody looks pretty calm. I tell you what, just a great group of guys. You know, a little bit of trash talking goes on, man, and we love it. You got to have a little bit of that. You got to have a little bit of fun, man. We come here to unwind, have a blast. You know, there is competition, and I've been in some leagues that are extremely competitive, but I tell you what, Apex hits that nice balance where everybody wants to win, and yeah, it's competitive, but it ain't so serious that we get into big fights or something like that. Aaron Adcock, who runs this show, he ain't gonna take no crap from nobody. So you got to mind your P's and Q's if you're gonna run here. He's not gonna put up with it. So he runs a tight ship, and I think these guys know that. And I don't think a lot of people need a whole lot of babysitting. These guys are just some of the best, man. It's just a lot of fun. Great personalities. You get in some of these team chats, and man, it's a blast. You'll hear them at the end of the race. Hopefully we get to talk to all kinds of fellas, and you'll see their personalities kind of jump out. Just a great group of dudes. Well, lights are out on the pace car, getting ready to go back green, man, with 11 laps to go. Who is going to bring home the victory? Chris McClain able to hold on to that top spot since the caution, but we are seeing the intensity pick up. Is he going to be able to hang on to it? Who's gonna come from the back of the pack that's been hanging out? You know, we talked about Tanner Marr. We talked about Aaron Adcock running towards the back. These guys hanging around. John Curtis, Bedwell, all these fellas that's been kind of hanging out, taking it easy. You know, are they going to be able to make their way to the front and take this win away from Chris right now, who controls this race? Once again, you see it on your screen, Apex Sim Racing Custom Racing Gear. If you are interested in any kind of button boxes, any kind of sim racing accessories, go over to the apexsimracing.com and check out what they got, man. Man, big supporter of this series. Glad to have them on board. But let's get back going as we are getting ready to go green here. 11. Eddie, we need a wed of you too. I don't know what that means. Chris McLean with a good jump. Going to have a push from his Po-Man Motorsport teammate, Josh Lokovitz. Got Ray Rogers on the outside with a push from Garrett Kinder. And we are going to get into the last 10 laps here. What is going to happen? Who's going to bring home the victory? And we've already seen intensity pick up quite a bit. We're going to see a lot more pushes, a lot more. You see that bottom line starting to bottle up. That top line gets a huge run. Chris McLean in trouble here as the 51 is out front. You see just, so much pushing going on. They are side by side. Garrett Kinder going to go through the middle and get stuck a little bit in the middle. Jonah Colbert going to come down and kind of save him and not force him to be in the middle. 51 going to lose a lot of momentum. He's going to back up that top line. You're going to see kind of check up a little bit. Everybody's going to have to look where they're going. Don't push too hard as they try to get everything going. Tanner Marr gets a little bit sideways there on the bottom. And these two lines, you can see how hard they are pushing. We've already seen some pushes go wrong when you don't push dead even. And that's going to be the goal here. If you're going to win this race, you got to be able to push right in the middle and not cause a wreck. And so we're going to see if the 51 of Ray Rogers able to get something going again as that top line kind of fell off a little bit as they get this thing wound up. You see the 79 on the back of the 5 pushing him down into the corner, keeping that bottom line going forward. And like I said before, you see that the cars are tightening up. There's a lot less space in between those trucks as we are getting down to the end, man. You see them bobbing and weaving like some snakes going across the track. So far, so good. 9 laps to go. Who is going to take home the victory? Chris McLean holding on to that spot, telling Josh Lokovitz, hey, when we get on the straightaway, I want you to push the mess out of me. And then once we get the corner, you can back off. And because you want to try to negate the run that top line's going to get. They get a huge run off the corner. You'll see that 51 pick up ahead of steam, and that's where you see the 79 get to the back bumper of the 5, give them a little push, and try to stop that top side run from happening. You got the 7 car up here of Alex Coffey trying to take it 3 wide, and it successfully looks like able to get right behind Chuck Pegleg in that 7 turquoise Toyota Tundra, it looks like. Coming down to 8 laps to go. 51 of Ray Rogers gets a nose out in front. Chris McLean able to lead that lap as well. So it is going to be a drag race if nothing changes up here. Who's going to step out and go 3 wide? Who's going to take that chance? You see these guys kind of moving all over. Daytona a lot more narrow than Talladega. Really hard to make that work, and especially if you start to get a bigger run, guys are going to jump out there and take it from you. So it is going to be a chess match for sure. Who's going to go? Who's going to make that move? Right now, Po-Man Motorsports kind of controlling the race down on the bottom, but the 51, 13, and 31, and 75 trying to make something happen on the outside. Ooh, getting a little bit swirly. Oh, looks like Tanner Marr was going to go to the middle. It actually, not sure if he just got a little bit nervous or what, and then jumps back in line. Just nowhere to go. If you're on the bottom, where Tanner is, or Aaron Ackman, there's nowhere to go. You're kind of hoping guys will, there might be a wreck or something, jump down the gate through. It's a pretty safe bet here. Just nowhere to go if you're on the bottom. You can't go anywhere. So you kind of have to be patient and take it where you can get it. You see him walk right there. Coffee, the number 14 of Christian Pittman get together. Very close. But just see that Tanner here, we're on board with him. There's nowhere for him to go. He can't go low. That can't go below that yellow line. Can't go through the middle, kind of get hung out to dry. And those guys are so pinched down on to his right side. He's just kind of at the mercy of wherever Aaron goes, whatever happens to this bottom line. But up front, it's still Po-Man 1-2, holding that bottom line, really able to make. Josh Lokovitz doing a great job of pushing. He's doing a masterful job. I don't want to understate how important it is for Chris McLean that the 79 machine right behind him is doing exactly what he is doing. And it's so important for the 5 to be able to hold that top spot because the top line can really get some good runs, and he is doing a great job of managing that. Coming to 5 laps to go, Man, it is down to crunch time. Who's going to step out and make a difference? Is it going to finish like this? Is somebody going to pull out and make a last lap move? You know, we're going to find out as we go on board. Let's see what Josh Lokovitz looks like as he is holding that top spot, running that 79 machine on the bottom, pushing. You just see how focused he is. Eyes locked on the screen. Very little wheel movement as he is trying to get to the back bumper, give the 5 a little push. Goes down in the corner. Just so little wheel input is needed. And look at that, just laser focused. House could be burning down right now, and he wouldn't know it as he is locked on the back bumper of that 5, trying to get this victory for Po-Man. And Ray Rogers trying to take it away. Man, it is getting wild up here. Guys are moving around, shifting in the lanes, but it is still pretty quiet. See the 17 jump up in the top line saying, oh, we're going to try to, oh, we got a wreck back here. It looks like, oh, the 7 goes around. Oh, I don't know who else. Caution, no caution flies, though, as Alex Coffey spins down to the inside. I don't know who else involved. Willie Evernham. Oh, a caution is out now as, oh, we got bigger wreck. Good Lord, I can't keep up with it all. As Justin Miller is around. My goodness. What happened there? I don't know why. People keep wrecking after the caution. That's crazy. Oh, it looks like Tanner Marr gets into the back bumper of the 14. And poor Justin Miller, nowhere to go. Let's go on board with him and see that. As we're on board with Justin Miller in the 26 car by himself. See Tanner Marr get to the back of the 14. And Justin, nowhere to go. Goes for a ride. And that's your Burkhalter Recycling and Demolition Wreckage Rewind. Aptly named. I like that sponsor. It's a good one. It's like Justin Miller had already used his fast repair. So he is done for. And boy, oh boy, you know, I don't know really what to say, but we're going to have our first green-white checker of the season. After all that happened, I was kind of trying to focus on trying to find the wrecks that were happening all over the place. But let's go back and see what we the moment of caution, because it looks like Garrett Kinder and Ray Rogers able to hold on to that top spot. We go back a couple laps and try to see how Ray Rogers was able to get that big push. You see him wrecking. And no caution is out as of yet, but Garrett Kinder, Ray Rogers stay in it. Oh, it looks like Chris McLean gets a little bit loose there on the bottom, loses a little bit of momentum, and then the caution is going to come out here in a few seconds, and that's how the 51 and 13, you see caution lights are flashing there. So that's how they got where they are. Whew. Well, I tell y'all what, I'm going to need a break after this one. This has been wild. I appreciate y'all being active in chat. It's always good to have folks chit-chatting in here, keeping it live, keeping it funny. I see some LOLs in there. I know that's Ratchet and Kevin's doing for sure. But always glad to have y'all active in chat. That's a big deal. Of course, when you shout out your favorite driver, it lets me know, hey, I should probably show them every once in a while. So definitely keep that up. Really love that. Well, speaking of chat, you know, Tammy, Kevin, Ratchet, Kelly, Nate, who y'all got? Who y'all think's gonna win this race? You're only gonna have a few laps. You know, you will have another green-white checkered if needed. It's gonna take a couple laps for these trucks to really get going, but you know, by the time you get to that white flag, your runs will be materialized. The cars will be up to speed, and somebody will have enough momentum to make a move. But I think if you're not in the top 5, it's going to be really difficult to make a move and get up to the front in time. But somebody with the right momentum can jump up on the outside, make that work. But I think if you're not in the top 5, top 6, it's going to be tough to get through there. Tammy Raymond says 44, I hope. Well, he is sitting back in 13th position. Jason Raymond in that green and black 44 machine. And he can definitely do it. They get tangled up here in the front, or he can make a nice little move like Chuck Pegleg Phelps through the middle. It is definitely possible. I've seen crazier and crazier things happen. It is definitely possible for that to happen. Kelly Coffee says, not a word. Well, I'm assuming if your name is Kelly Coffee, that Alex Coffee is somebody you're pulling for, and he is sitting back in 19th after that incident. Not out of it yet, but we're going to have a green-white checker here as we come down. Green-white checkered, 3 laps to go. Green flag is out. Ray Rogers getting a big push from the 5 now. Will the 5 and 79, will they make a move? What's going to happen? You see Garrett Kinder and Jonah Colbert on the outside, along with Kyle Roberts and Brandon Wallace. Lots of guys who are willing to work together. Who is going to, I think if you're Ray Rogers, you might feel a little nervous because you've got 2 teammates right behind him. Now, Ray Rogers, well respected, definitely have some guys work with him, but what will the Poman Motorsports do in the 5 and 79? Will they stick with it? A caution is out again, as it looks like I don't even have anything that pops up on the screen as we were watching the leads. We go to the, oh my goodness. Well, that's a good way to jump into it. It's like George Williams here in the 40 is spinning, and Alex Coffey getting a huge push on the top side. Just a lot of momentum. It just makes a kind of a late move there, trying to block that run, and really just can't. It's just a bad time to do that. You can see how fast they're pushing, and unfortunately, just a late move there to try to block that, get on that top line, and ultimately he's going to pay dearly for it. Man, he is flipping through the air multiple times, and good grief. Hopefully he had his fighter pilot suit on that could hold them G's. Well, Garrett Kinder able to get the lead when the caution came out. Man, that's huge. Be able to get that lead, it's a big deal. We'll see what they decide to do. He does have lane choice here. He's going to have Ray Rogers on the inside, and I can't really tell. Looks like Jonah Colbert will be on the inside, Chris McLean on the outside. So we'll see who he chooses to work with. He's been working with Jonah. I expect to see him take the bottom line, but man, I tell you what, that top line will get going, and it'll be a big deal. We'll give y'all a little behind the scenes because I think we have just 2, but I want to make sure we don't have 3 green white checkers. Boop, 2. All right, so 2 green white checkers. This is it. If we do not go, if a caution comes out, the field's frozen, and that will be the race, and we'll wait and see what the call is. But this is it. So these guys, if they make it around to the white flag, we'll race it out. If caution comes out, that will end the race. So either one of those flags could end the race. Kelly Coffee says, I hate super speedways. You know what? I'm right there with you. It's a very frustrating type of racing. You are just putting a whole lot of trust and faith in other drivers, and they can easily ruin your night. And, like I said, we're not professionals. Guys will make moves they think they can make, Their heart's in it. Their heart says, I can make that move, but their reaction times and arms and legs and, just not able to make it happen sometimes. And I'm not picking on George. I'm saying everybody. So it's not a pick on him. Everybody kind of makes those moves, and we all do it thinking, oh, I can make that move, and just not able to, so it happens. And that's kind of the allure of this type of racing, is you feel like a superhero when you win, and man, it just burns you up whenever you get caught up in something, especially if it's not your own doing. Like Justin Miller going flying through the air, had really had nothing to do with that wreck earlier. We look off the back bumper of the 13. Lights are off on the pace car, and it looks like the 13 is going to take the top side. A little surprised by that. They've been working so good with the 31. You see the front bumper of the 31 as he drives by. That's been mostly off the back bumper of the 13, so I'm surprised that he chose the top side. But I think he knows top line. It's just where you want to be. You get the run off of turn 4. If you're even, you're side by side, most of the time you're going to get the momentum that you need to cross the line first. So it's definitely not a bad choice. All right, getting ready to settle it. Who is going to take home the first win of the season, 23 race season? And if you can start it off with a win, have the points lead, that's the way you want to do it. Big gap back to the pace car. Here we go. Last restart. Get up out of your seat if you're in it. As we're going to hopefully finish this thing without too many fireworks. Garrett Kinder going to get a nice little jump there. What's he going to do? Is he going to jump down to the bottom and hold on to that top spot? He's got two teammates working together behind him, but I want to say Garrett Kinder may be on Poman for this season, and so they may be working together. And I think all that top 4 may be Poman. So excuse me if I don't know that. I'll definitely try to memorize that right now. But man, they have a great jump there. Top 3 able to get out ahead. But Josh Lokovitz said, you know what, I'm going to jump up. And the 51 goes 3 wide down below the yellow line. It's very scary. He backs out. Ray Rogers does. But a big push from Chuck Pegleg. He's got Aaron Adcock coming out of nowhere. Up on the top side is a Poman. Man, there's a whole bunch of them up here. Where'd they come from? Like ants. Oh, somebody getting loose out behind them. Oh, are they going to take the white flaggers? Caution going to come out and finish the race. Your Absolute Product Solutions icing the competition. Final lap, as it looks like we're still racing. We are still racing. Caution does not come out, so the iRacing guys are going to let us race it out. Garrett Kinder in the right spot. Joseph Mahar gets into the wall a little bit. It is going to be a drag race. Who is going to come home with this win? As the field is just wrecking behind them. But we're going to stay here on the race win as they are side by side. Garrett Kinder, Josh Lokovitz. Who's going to have the biggest push as they go down to the corner? Chuck Pegleg going to try to get right back tight to the 79 machine. But Garrett's getting a huge push from Chris. Who's going to win? Who's going to get the win as they come down to the start-finish line? It's going to be a photo finish. And oh, no, Garrett Kinder goes into the wall. And Chris McLean is going to win. Oh, and a big wreck there at the end as they were all over each other. And, oh, my goodness, Garrett Kinder gets hooked on the right rear. And, oh, my goodness, let's go back. And we got to watch that one more time as they come down to the start-finish line. And you see the 79 here and the 5 maybe get together, a little bit of push from behind, and you see the 13 right at the start-finish line. Chris McLean takes home the win. Oh, my goodness. What an amazing finish. As if you're Garrett Kinder, you probably, hey, you can't be too mad. You finish second. Not how you want to do it. Nobody wrecked you on purpose. I know he's probably not happy, want to get that win. But there's your winner right there, Chris McLean, in a crazy finish. As, man, I thought Garrett Kinder had that thing in the last second. Chris McLean with enough momentum to stop that spinning 13 from taking home the win. So going forward with Chris McLean as he is just all over the back bumper, pushing. Oh my goodness, just unbelievable. Unbelievable finish. That's what we've been waiting on. 80 laps to get there. Even takes out a cone for good measure. Give the track worker something to think about. Well, y'all, that's a great race. Great first race of the season. You know, we'll give the Trigger Time Jammed Up Award to Garrett Kinder for leading there right at the end and getting turned into the wall. Finished second, still really good finish. But we'll give the Trigger Time Jammed Up Award indoor shooting range. I want to thank Alan Smith for sponsoring that award, and then our Hard Charger Award is going to go to Josh Lokovitz for sure. 25 spots from where he started. Run up front all race long. He's a Kyle Roberts handmade leather. You see that wallet there? It's got JC on it. Handmade leather wallets that are given out to the champion. Kyle Roberts does that and does a fantastic job. And he is sponsoring the Hard Charger Award. So congratulations to Josh Lokovitz. So you got the winner, you got second, third, both winning awards. Pretty good little deal. So let's go ahead and get the King's Corner chat presented by Fire Kings Motorsports, our post-race interviews. And we're going to go ahead and get Josh Lokovitz up in chat. Let me make sure the results are right. Oh, no, Ray Rogers actually, I'm not real sure what happened as I'm looking down the list. Josh Lokovitz shows a lap down. So he may not actually be I'm not sure if he got a black flag or something. He was right there at the end. I'm not real sure what happened. Let me go back and see if I can see what happened to him. Trying to just see what in the world happened, as it looks like Josh Lokovitz finishes third. It's let's see if we can go to this finish cam and kind of see. I'm not real sure what happened, but iRacing actually scored him way far down. So I'm not really sure. It's showing on iRacing that Ray Rogers, you'll see there up at the top there, that Ray Rogers was the third place finisher. So I'm not real sure. We'll have to get a ruling on that, but for now we'll just we'll go with what iRacing said, and we're going to talk to Ray Rogers. Hey Ray, this is Eddie in the booth. You got me?
Yes, sir.
Ray, man, well, heck, that was a good race from you, man. Up front all race long. You know, I guess my first question is, what was your strategy? What was you hoping to see play out as you were racing there, throughout the whole race? Kind of what was your strategy and what you were trying to do tonight?
Well, obviously, super speedways is stay out of the carnage, and we were very good. We didn't really have any, so I didn't really have to worry about that. My teammate Justin was in the back, so I really didn't have a whole lot of. I couldn't, he couldn't get up there, so it's just basically me riding and just being patient.
Well, yeah, you were up there fighting there. It's definitely at the back half of the race, man. Just up there at the front, trading blows up there for the lead. But there at the end is where it all matters. And, man, able to kind of squeak through there as everybody kind of wrecks there. What was it like from your point of view?
Carnage. Um, it was all Poe man up there. Me and
You were kind
Justin
of
were,
alone,
were
weren't you?
yeah, I was all alone, and I'm like, I'm a sitting duck here. If I knew if Garrett went to the top, I knew I was a sitting duck because they were all lined up, like all five of them or whatever it is, all lined. And I'm like, oh my gosh, this isn't gonna work, and it didn't. And I figured a top five, and that's where I was at until we had that little wreck, and then somehow I squeezed out a top three.
Well, man, a fantastic race from you. It's always good to see. I think you're one of the most well-respected drivers in the field. I'm looking forward to seeing you run up front all season long. Are you going to run for the championship this? I know you was running Road to Pro. Are you going to try to run this season out, or what you going to do?
I'm doing too good in the road to pro to back out now. I think there's 3 races, 2 races left, whatever it is, and I'm so close. So I'm probably going to finish my road to pro.
There you go. Well, hey, we're happy to see that. We'll definitely want to support you in that. So we'll be glad to have you as a part-time driver for sure. But man, a third place at Daytona, hard to beat. First race of the season. Who you got to thank, man? Who's your sponsors? Who gets you around the track?
Well, my wife gets me around the track for the most part. She pays all the funds, but there's a whole list of sponsors here, so I'm gonna go ahead and go off with them. Apex Sim Racing, Peg Leg Pole Award, Kinder Farm Ranch Starting Grid, 1 Inch Design, Burkhart Recycling Demolition, Kyle Roberts Handmade Leather, Trigger Time Jam, APS Icing the Competition, Kings Corner Chat by Five Kings Motorsports. All these guys here, make this league, go around the track. So I appreciate each and every one of them.
Well, all right, Ray Rogers, congratulations on third place. A lot of fun to watch you tonight. Looking forward. Good luck in the rest of the road to pro. Wish you luck, and we'll be glad to talk to you the next couple races you run over here.
I appreciate it, Eddie. You have a good night, man.
Well, all right, let's bring in Garrett Kinder, our second place finisher. Garrett, the stadium booth, you got me?
Yeah, I got you, Eddie.
What's up, buddy? Well,
oh man, just super speedway racing. What's up with you?
Well, man, just hey, look, trying to keep it energetic, and man, there at the end, it got crazy. I kind of going to go ahead and start off. I know you might be disappointed. I don't know. It looked like you had a whole lot of fun. You definitely wanted to get that win, and you're so close. Just guys battling it out, and man, there at the end, just let Chris McLean squeak it out there as y'all were wrecking across the start finish line. But tell me about your race. What did it look like from your point of view, and did you accomplish what you wanted to accomplish in the race?
Well, I survived, so I definitely accomplished what I wanted to accomplish out of the whole deal. Man, it was fun. Running around there with a bunch of the teammates. I think was paired up with a teammate, at least one, all night long. So everybody over there at Poman works really, really well together, and we have a good time. We're cutting up, having a good time the whole time while we're hanging out. And the racing was kind of weird. If you're on old tires, of course, a little bit loose on restarts, and if you get behind somebody and you're being kind of aggressive, it's a pretty loose setup. But man, overall, it was just fun. Both lines had their moments where they were fast, and man, it's just classic plate racing. It was a good time.
Well, I don't know. When you crossed the line, did you think you'd won, or did you know? Right
Oh, I
away?
did. Yeah. No, I thought I had it. I looked down as soon as I started going sideways. I went straight down to the relative, start looking, and it had me as first place for a split second, and then showed that Chris got it. Chris being teammate, I'm not too tore up about it. I told him just a second ago, super speedway race for me is like playing Russian roulette with all the chambers full. So I was really glad to at least get a top five, get a second place. I'm tickled pink. I love it.
Yeah, Poe Man worked pretty good there at the end together. Y'all showed a lot of strength. Ray Rogers said in his interview he kind of felt like he was out on an island, and that definitely looked that way. So, man, congratulations on second place. Who's your sponsors? Who you got to thank?
Of course, I got to thank Kinder Farm and Ranch. Glad we got a good finish for them on the first race of the season out here. Daytona, they all know that super speedway racing is not typically my forte, so glad I can get them and Ratchet Speed Shop up on the podium. Big Frig and Cross 5 cattle coolers. If you want to keep your stuff hot and keep your stuff cold for cheaper and longer than anybody else, make sure you check out Big Frig and Cross 5 cattle coolers at bigfrig.com. Y'all thank Ray Page over at Wolfpack Racing. Heck of a guy to know. If you don't know him, go talk to him. And then, of course, all my teammates over at Poman. It's nice to be a part of a team where everybody's really cohesive and everybody works really well together. you can't beat just racing with your buddies. It's a Thursday night, but it feels like it's a weekend night, just having a good time, cutting it up and laughing. All the new sponsors we have for the league, of course, Apex kind of heading up the show for this deal. And then, of course, Peg Leg, Kinder Farm and Ranch for doing the starting grid, 1 Inch Designs, Burkhalter Recycling, Kyle Roberts, Handmade Leather. He makes some pretty badass wallets. I know you saw Jonah's. It was pretty slick from last season. Trick of Time, I believe that's your Pops, isn't it?
Yes,
And
sir.
then APS Icing Competition, and then King's Corner Chat by Five Kings. I'm guessing that's what we're in right now, if I was guessing. But yeah, man, it's a good time. Glad you broadcast it. Like going back and watching your broadcast. So really, really looking forward to going back and watching this one.
Absolutely, man. Well, congratulations on second place. Thought you had the win, but hey, look, if your
Yeah,
teammate wins,
yeah,
that's basically like a win, especially at a plate track. So,
absolutely.
congratulations, man. I'm sure we'll be talking to you a whole bunch this season.
I appreciate it. Thank you, Eddie.
Well, all right. Well, let's bring the race winner in here, Chris McLean. Chris, is Eddie. You got me. Come on.
I got you, buddy.
Well, you know, there at the end, man, you kind of had control of the race for the last good bit of that race. It came down to that last green white checker. You knew you had teammates all around you. You had to feel pretty good at the end. Kind of looked like you were kind of dead set on pushing Kinder all the way to the end, and then the heavens opened up, and you were able to sneak through there and take that win, man. Congratulations.
Yeah, man, I was I was out front there a couple restarts before that, and that ain't where I like to be. I like to be the one doing the pushing, but it is what it is. I just stayed with it. We ended up getting a caution there. Actually, uh, I ended up third because me and Lokovich got caught up kind of weird, and it was almost about to turn me out into the Ray and just wrecked the whole field. But I was able to keep it together. I had to go down and blow the apron, to keep from turning me to the outside. We just had a funny bump there, and caution come out, ended up putting me third, which where I like to be. And then we got another one, and Kinder chose the outside, which I was committed to Ray. It's just hard to get the second truck past that outside line without something happening, and then they lose the momentum. So I was pretty much committed to whoever I was with, and left the hole open on the bottom. And we took a. I don't really know what happened there, to be honest with you. It looked weird out my windshield, but I think it may have been a little bit of net code, maybe a funny bump or something. All I know is Kinder just slowed momentum really quick, and I kind of got into him. I think Loki was in his right rear, and all of a sudden I didn't think I won it. I thought Kinder still held it together, but we was able to squeak by for the win. I take it.
Yeah, what was your plan going in tonight? I mean, what did you have one, or just kind of hope and pray? Everybody kind of talks about how it's sort of rolling the dice, but I think you can have a little bit of plan, and at least when you win, you can just say that you had one and it worked out, regardless if you actually did.
Yeah, this really ain't my type of track. I do enjoy restricted plates when we can get together and push and work as teammates. It does make it kind of fun. But most of the time we go to the back and ride around for a while, and to me that it just got to where it was boring. So last couple of times we just said we're gonna get up here and try to battle, and in the clash, we run top five pretty much all race, and it was fun. Had a good time. Got in a little congestion there at the end, but we still able to come out second. So we kind of had that mindset going in, but we all wanted to come kind of try to be together for that first pit cycle. So we all kind of shuffled to the bottom, and then the the bottom line just didn't go anywhere. The top line was just moving, so we just stuck with that, and got that first pit cycle out of the way, and then we kind of moved to the front, and I was pushing there. Chris Carroll just kept him out front on that top row the whole time, and he never did go down, which I wasn't really getting hot, so I was fine with it. And then we finally got to that second pit cycle, and I told Tracy behind me, I said, I'm going to just push him out and get down to the bottom, and then hopefully you can get up there and get in front of me, and then we can be in line to go down pit road, and it worked out, and we pretty much just had it in our head then, try to stay up front at that point forward. The old tires, taking the pushes on old tires, it'd get a little squirrely, and we're contemplating coming down and getting a fresh set there on them late cautions, but track position was too key there.
Yeah, it didn't seem like three wide was really even possible. A couple times that people got three wide, it just didn't turn out. Daytona just so kind of a little bit narrower than Talladega, and especially when you're sim racing with people sitting at computers all over the country, it makes it difficult. Is that kind of what you felt like as far as trying to take it three wide?
Yeah, no doubt, no doubt. It's definitely different than it has been in past races, but kind of what I found there when you generate the run and get to them, you can't just lock. You gotta lift just a little bit right before you get to them and get them going kind of with you, and then you can kind of roll on the throttle. But if you get to them and bump them, it just gets it ain't even really a bump. It's kind of weird. It's like an air bubble. But if you hit them with that much momentum, that bubble would just get them squirrely, and then yeah, I mean it just kills all the momentum.
Well, hey, you had it figured out. Your truck looks like crap, but it doesn't matter when you're in victory lane. So, congratulations, man! A great win, good team effort from Poe, man. Y'all really showed up and showed out tonight. So congratulations! Go enjoy that win. It's good to get the first win out of the way. What I would imagine would be a lot more.
Oh yeah, I hope so. And I just want to give a big shout out to all my teammates over at Poman Motorsports. Man, it's a great group of guys. We have a lot of fun, and this race was fun. We was able to kind of put a little team strategy out there, and for the most part, execute it. It's hard to execute any kind of strategy at these plate races, but I want to give a big shout out to Ray. Man, he's always fun competition to race around. Of course, Justin Miller putting the paints on the trucks every week and keeping the fenders beat out of them when I tear them up. Peg Leg Pole Award, Kinder Farmer Ranch for all they do, man. They got their hand in a lot of leagues. That's a great group of people, man. 1 Inch Designs, of course. He puts all the schemes on my truck. He does great work. Burkhardt Recycling and Demolition, Kyle Roberts Handmade Leather. I got a custom leather wallet from him, and he does excellent work. Of course, Jimmy at Apex, man, for letting us carry his name. Just all the stuff he does for the league. It's a great thing we got going here. And Aaron Adcock, he puts in a lot of time and effort to make this league what it is, and I think it's a great league, and it's only going to get better. Of course, big shout out to you up in the booth for coming on board this year, man. I always enjoy watching the broadcast back. I don't normally watch the restrictor plates back, but I think I'm gonna have to go back and watch this one. It was pretty exciting.
Yeah, y'all put on a great show, man. I'm excited for this rest of the season. But man, you're on top, headed on to the next race. So, congratulations, Chris. Good win, and man, I'm sure we'll be talking to you a lot more.
Thank you, buddy.
Well, there you have it, y'all. I mean, a fantastic first race. We'll go ahead and go through the results here as we show where everybody ended up, all your favorite drivers, where they at. Some guys had a really, really good race. Some guys didn't finish where they wanted to. We know about the top three. Unfortunately, Josh Loganvitz got disqualified for driving backwards, so sort of an iRacing issue. Can't really do anything about it. Once iRacing scoring says something, it is what it is. So that's what happened to him. But that allowed Ray Rogers to take that third place. Aaron Aycock fourth. Chuck Pegleg Phelps, man, with a big old man move through the middle. He driving up three wide by himself, uh, and was definitely in position to maybe get a win tonight. To Joseph Mahar up front all race long. Alex Coffey with a great recovery there in seventh. We saw him getting wrecked on that first green white checker. Was able to come home with a seventh place finish. Great finish from him. Charles Stevens Jr. finishes eighth. Eric Burkhalter ninth. Brandon Wallace 10th. George Williams 11th. Tracy Pastons 12th. 13th Christian Pittman. 14th Kyle Roberts. 15th Jason Raven. 16th Mickey Isaac. 17th Matt Rogers. 18th is Tanner Marr. 19th, Alan Smith. 20th, Jonah Colbert. 21st, John Curtis. 22nd, Tony Edgerton. I'm going to get it right. Edrington. 23rd, Josh Lokovitz after that disqualification. Charlie Elmore, 24th. Willie Abraham, 25th. Justin Miller, 26th. Chris Bedwell, 27th. Chris Carroll, disappointed. He should probably be in the running for the Jammed Up Award, running up front all race long, and just ends up getting the Super Speedway curse there. Finishes 28th, and Anthony McPherson finishes 29th. Well, man, I tell you what, that was a blast. A lot of fun. A lot of fun to call. They definitely kept it exciting at the end, for sure. I want to thank everybody in chat. I want to thank Aaron Adcock for bringing me on board, allowing me to broadcast his league. Man, it's a whole lot of fun. Hope y'all enjoyed the broadcast. We'll keep getting better every week, make it a little bit more fun, more entertaining. But I'm just excited to see how the season's going to play out. A lot of fast drivers, a lot of parity. I think we'll see a lot of fun We want to thank all of our sponsors again. Everybody's kind of shouting them out, but hey, that's why they do it, and they deserve as much airtime as they can get. Obviously, want to thank Apex Sim Racing. Go to apexsimracing.com. Check out their button boxes. See what they got. They got all kinds of stuff, man. Not just button boxes. Go check them out, man. Jimmy's the man. Definitely want to thank them for coming on board. They've been on board, but for being such a big part of this league. I want to thank Chuck Pegleg for sponsoring the Pole Award. I want to thank Kevin Kinder and everybody from Kinder Farm and Ranch for doing the starting grid, 1-inch paint, 1-inch design paint of the night from 1-inch design. I believe that's Justin Miller. Not real sure. I don't want to say that wrong, but I'm pretty sure it is. I want to thank those guys. Burkhalter Recycling Demolition, Kyle Roberts, Handmade Leather, Trigger Time, Jammed Up Award. So thank Trigger Time for coming on board. They're new this season. APS for sponsoring the Ice in the Competition White Flag, and King's Corner for sponsoring the post-race interviews. And where is the next race? That is a great question. And we'll go ahead and talk a little bit about the next few races. Next week, next Thursday night, we are at Vegas. So, we're talking about rolling the dice here. And we're going to head right over to Vegas and continue that trend. 100 laps at Las Vegas. And then we go to Atlanta. Fun little stretch of tracks. And then we go straight into Watkins Glen. Fourth race of the season. Martinsville, Bristol Dirt, Darlington, Kansas. What a stretch. Man, this is a great. I love this schedule. I think it's a lot of fun. Bristol Dirt, I cannot wait. I think it's going to be fun to watch. Martinsville's going to be a mess in a good way. So, a lot of fun. Vegas next week. Come on out, 100 laps. Have a good time. And, so want to thank everybody for watching. Everybody that was in chat. We'll call y'all out one more time. Kelly Coffey, Ratchet Miller, Tammy Raymond, Garrett Kinder, posting in chat. Kevin Kinder, Ratchet Miller, Steve McDonald. I believe I saw him at some point in here. Yeah, I see him right there. Steve, Nate Mahoo. I'm not Maho. We'll just call you Nate. Appreciate you, Nate. I don't think I'm missing anybody. If I do miss somebody, hey, I'm sorry, but we appreciate y'all being active in chat. So, man, come on out, watch the race, support us. Tell your friends if you got somebody that, somebody ain't doing nothing on Thursday night, want to come and watch, man. Let's go. Let's get some people, some eyeballs for some of these great sponsors, and especially if they sim race, we want to get Apex out there. But good race. Y'all have a good night, and we will see y'all in Vegas. See you later.